Good morning. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the 2017 State of the University Address. My name is Gail Hackett, and I have the privilege of serving as Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs here at Virginia Commonwealth University. I am very pleased to welcome the many members of the community who are here today in the James Branch Cabell Library, as well as the many others who are joining us online. I'd also like to welcome the VCU Board of Visitors members who are here with us today, Dr. H. Benson Dendy III, and Dr. Shantaram Telegonkar, and those other Board of Visitors members who are joining us online. The State of the University Address is an annual tradition at VCU that provides the opportunity for each of us to reflect on our many successes and learn about our future goals and aspirations. Before we welcome President Rao, however, let's take a few moments to meet some of the people at VCU who have taken on some extraordinarily difficult problems and, in the quintessential VCU way, are making our community and our world a better place.
One of the hardest things I've ever done in my life was adopt and raise a young boy who was a victim of child sex trafficking.
As a little Kurdish boy in Saddam's Iraq, I saw the need for healthcare and I wanted to help those in need. But I never thought I could come to America and pursue my passion.
The reason I got into this field is I have personal experience with some of the things that I work with, and then also I have family members who have gone through some of these things.
Surgery is taking on something that's going to be difficult, but there's a way, you can see a way through it.
Art is probably one of the most difficult things that I've ever done because there isn't a direct or simple answer with art.
These neighborhoods that we're looking at, they are literally walking down the block to go swim into the James, right where it's polluted.
Having witnessed some of my immediate family going through some health-related challenges, growing up I was always curious about whether I can use technology to address some of these health-related challenges.
That experience that was so negative led to some really positive things, and I don't think I would be where I'm at if it hadn't been for that.
The hardest thing in my life has been cancer. My life partner was diagnosed several years ago.
When I was homeless, I learned that I could do anything. After it was over, I realized that I could go through anything.
Good morning. It's such a privilege to be with all of you, particularly as we reaffirm in this new year our enduring commitment that we are a premier research university focused on the positive progress of humanity through discovery and through innovation. To be sure, this is really difficult work, but let me be clear, it's ours to do. And I'm glad it is, because with this university's unmatched talent and our unwavering resolve, we are uniquely equipped to do what's difficult. You know, when I think about what we do here every day, what's difficult and what matters ultimately, I think about William Butler Yeats, the great Irish poet that some of you may remember, who the world just lost about 78 years ago, just this week. Among his most poignant verses was one that was called "The Fascination of What's Difficult." And this is where he wrestles with how to escape what is so that he can actually create what may be. I just love how Yeats describes the idea of striving for progress despite great challenges, the fascination of what's difficult. And so, I want us to think about that today. So how can we at VCU, and we in higher education more broadly, commit our time, our talent, our resources to help achieve just that, what's difficult? And why? So that we can absolutely move the human experience beyond what it is today, so that someday we can decide what we want it to become. For us, this is the fascination of what's difficult, and this is our fundamental mission. You know, I began reflecting on this recently when a reporter had asked me, "So what's your vision for VCU?" My answer may not have been exactly what this guy wanted, but this is what I told him. I said that universities in general need to change a lot, and we certainly know that we need to do it as quickly as possible. Specifically, we've got to do it with how we connect what we do, our work, to the most vital needs of our communities. Collectively, we have to make sure that what we do matters beyond the borders of our campuses, that we focus our limited resources towards solving urgent and vital problems that lots of people face, that we make the biggest possibilities of life more accessible to more people. We have to be a part of our communities. We can't be apart from them. This is where higher education just has to go in the 21st century. And VCU is ahead of the curve because our brand is a brand of positive impact. And why is that? It's thanks to all of you, because you continue to strive for the progress of humanity through our missions of research, teaching, healthcare, service, and you do it despite enormous obstacles that some of us face. You continue to be fascinated by what's difficult. Barbara Boyen sure does. She's our Dean of the School of Engineering, and she was recently inducted into the National Academy of Inventors. And this was on the strength of 22 U.S. patents to correct musculoskeletal defects. And so does Sambo Chanda, who's a graduate student in the Wilder School. It was her work to bring labor peace to Zambia that earned her that nation's top prize for civil service. And so do all of my colleagues, the interdisciplinary researchers and clinicians and teachers at VCU's Massey Cancer Center who cure cancer and save lives every day. And by the way, recently we learned that the National Cancer Institute review panel has recommended a renewal of Massey's NCI designation for the full 5 years. And by the way, Massey was given the best overall evaluation rating in our 43-year history. And this is really a testament to Gordon Ginder and his great leadership and that of my colleagues at Massey Cancer Center. And for that matter, so many of us, because There are more places connected at VCU to Massey Cancer Center than almost anywhere you can imagine. They, along with you, model this great big idea that the work that we do here should solve society's most pressing problems, that we will be the ones who will do what's difficult. So why? Why is this our mission? Well, there are a lot of reasons, but I'm going to talk about 3 that I think are most important. Number 1, because it's in our DNA. Universities were born of their communities to solve the challenges of their communities. Number 2, because society absolutely needs us. When has that ever been clearer? Research universities like ours are innovation engines, but innovation really only matters if it's paired with access. That's fundamentally American. Number 3, because we can't wait around for everybody else to do it. We will always seek out partners from every sector. No one else shares our focus on people over profit, empowerment over power, and opportunity over the ordinary. So let me tell you a little bit about what I mean. First, it's what we're here to do. It's what we were born to do. The purpose of higher education is, absolutely, higher. To move humanity toward a better, fuller version of itself. To do this, we can absolutely never lose our fascination with what we know is difficult. You know, 50 years ago, hard to imagine it's been this long, but it has, a group of civic and educational leaders submitted a recommendation to Virginia's State Council on Higher Education. This was a group that was led by Edward Wayne, who at that time was president of the Federal Reserve Bank of Richmond. So the Wayne Commission outlined the importance of creating a public university in Richmond that would, and let me just read this so that I get this exactly right, confront on an intellectual and practical level the social environment which surrounds it. The Wayne Commission's report, which fundamentally became our Constitution at VCU, said this: "This university has an obligation to participate in the solution of urban problems, to relate itself to the community without becoming overwhelmed by it, and to participate in the solution of existing problems without being absorbed by them." In other words, VCU's founding mission was to take head-on society's most vexing problems through our mission: education, research, healthcare and clinical work, and service. To do what's difficult. And we have always committed ourselves to serving the people of the Commonwealth that depend on us, whether it's from Norfolk to Nova, neighborhoods across the greater Richmond area, or throughout all of rural Virginia. A few weeks ago, we had an opportunity to release a report that highlights some of the ways in which we do this. It showed that we have a $6 billion impact on the Commonwealth, that our economic activity in Virginia returns $3.20 for every dollar that's spent, and that we account for 63,000 jobs in the Commonwealth of Virginia. But you know, more than economics, one of the things I really like about this report is that it shows that we really help to shape Richmond's culture. We really build the partnerships that move Richmond forward, that VCU Health helps make certain that people live longer, better, fuller lives, and that we model diversity for a region and a state that, frankly, historically has struggled with this issue. The report revealed so much about what VCU has been, but what excited me is that it really revealed so much about what we've got to become. We will focus on the people behind the numbers, the people of the Commonwealth of Virginia, and how we can continue to use our expertise, our talents, and our resources to help solve some of the most challenging problems that our people face. Like K-12 education, health disparities, and poverty. Many of you already work on these complex issues, but this is a call to action to all of us to forge ahead. In the coming year, we're going to intensify our work on 2 issues deeply connected to K-12 education and to health disparities as we formally launch the Center for Urban Communities. The VCU Center for Urban Communities will focus and target VCU's assets with partners across Greater Richmond. This will include outreach, education, research, advocacy, policy analysis, and, something our students love, hands-on service that will help support a more equitable and a more inclusive community. It will redefine research as practical but also palpable, and it will expand the understanding of a public university as a public good. So let me be clear. We didn't select these issues at random, and we're not going to brush anything aside. Over the past year, we held focus groups with community leaders who identified K-12 education and health as being among the most serious and pertinent problems that face Richmond. And they said, these are the ones that VCU really needs to play the biggest role in helping to address. They said this because we have the expertise and the talent in these areas, because we have the determination to work on critical issues that our communities face, because we have the willingness to commit with our partners to address what we know is difficult. And to be sure, these are really difficult issues. Our work through this center across VCU will help to make Richmond a stronger, more just, and more accessible community. And it'll support our faculty, our staff, and our students in continuing to integrate their great work into our great communities, where we can learn and discover together what actually works, what is effective in addressing the difficult challenges that face urban neighborhoods. We're in the final stages now of a national search for this center's leadership. This will be a person who will be a partner for good, who will work to help strengthen the university's link forever with the community. The Center for Urban Communities will bring together and build upon the remarkable work that's already underway across VCU in these areas. Work that's going to continue our historic charge to, you remember, to participate in the solution of urban problems. Work that will continue our fascination with what's difficult. Next, we focus on what's difficult because society needs us to. Research universities supply the cultural, the intellectual, the economic, and the political leadership of our nation. We're also America's innovation and entrepreneurial engines, aren't we? And I'm proud of VCU's astounding contributions, including a record $271 million in sponsored research just last year. That puts us again in the top 100 placements nationally and in terms of both federal and total research dollars. NSF ranking, I'm really proud of that. This is significant, but you know what's really remarkable? What's really remarkable is that our brand of research advances our community as much as it advances this academy. For an example, School of Social Work, Kaya Bentley, my colleague who is internationally known for her scholarship on mental health, you know what? More than that, she moves her incredible research into the community to help ensure that inmates get the mental health care that's effective and as compassionate as it can be. Daya Abraham, who's a graduate student in the School of Business. She's an emerging leader in the decision analytics research area. Well, she also works right now to improve equity of access to technology and to education. Our collaborative research in the neurosciences topped $27 million last year, ranking 32nd out of nearly 800 institutions nationally for NIH funding. Did I get that right, Alex? Far ahead of any other university in Virginia. And you know what else makes me feel really wonderful? 25,000 patients with neurological disorders were treated right here, helping them to find the kind of breakthroughs they needed to find their ways to better lives. This is exactly what the story is of VCU. Innovation that challenges the literature and changes people's lives, especially when it's really hard to do this. And it is hard to do a lot of the things that we do. We know that. Our innovations drive society. It's time then that we innovate ourselves so that we can ensure that what we do is difficult, but it's profoundly important. And the truth is that what I'm talking about may be the most difficult assignment of all, because it's a lot easier to just stay where you are and to take comfort in doing things the way you've always done them. Here's the good news, though, for VCU. Innovation is our specialty. Change is what we've always been all about, and we've done it well. So how do we use our proclivity for innovation to ensure that we meet our grandest purpose? Well, I think it's by ensuring that we align our resources together with our mission. We've talked a lot about doing that, but now we have to do it. This is exactly why our $750 million Make It Real campaign, which, by the way, is the largest comprehensive campaign that we've ever undertaken, it's why it focuses on giving the faculty, the staff, and the students at VCU who advance this mission the resources that we need to succeed in the biggest ways. So far, 78,000 donors, thank you so much, have contributed more than $460 million to this campaign. And they've endowed nearly 300 scholarships to students. This is part of our commitment to do everything that we possibly can to help our students build a future where they can create and lead and not be bound by the burdens of so much debt. It's why over the next several years we're going to move faster and faster to also build the infrastructure that supports all of us. This means a new budget process, the modernization of our human resources structure, and a strategic master plan that will redefine VCU's physical footprint. This includes the Institute for Contemporary Art and our School of Allied Health Professions building, both of which are currently taking shape now. And it will include our forthcoming adult ambulatory tower, which will be paired with a parking garage. I have to say that, I know it's important to you. And these new development and alumni relations buildings and VCU police buildings that help bridge our campuses, they have done wonderful things for us, but they're only the beginning. Our new HR structure, it's going to begin about a year from now in January 2018. We're also going to roll out some of the components of our new budget process this next fiscal year, with full implementation that will come the year after. And we're going to continue our great efforts to ensure that we model, and I want to be clear about this, both diversity and inclusion. And we're going to do it through our recruiting, we're going to do it through our hiring, we're going to do it through our promotion, we're going to do it through our service, and we're all going to work together. I ask all of you to join me in helping to make sure that we make certain that this is an environment that supports all human beings. These initiatives will do so much more than build a stronger VCU. They're going to build a VCU that serves all of us and our commitment to our mission better. And we will continue to look for ways to make VCU stronger and stronger. For an example, our priority in the new General Assembly session is addressing permanent and much-needed salary increases. You know that that has been my top priority for years, and this year is no different. As a short-term solution, given the circumstances that we have faced, together as a partner with the state, we recently announced that we're going to award one-time merit-based bonuses this March. But we remain absolutely committed to doing everything that we need to do to fund real pay raises. This intense focus on our infrastructure isn't very glamorous, but it strengthens us and it fuels our fire and it's urgently needed at a place like VCU. For years, we've been a university of incredible growth. We all know that that means in terms of size, but it also means in terms of reputation. Well, you know what? It's time that our infrastructure catches up to where we are as a modern university, and we must make sure that it catches up to us as one university. It also requires us to be honest about our resources. We've got to be sensitive to tuition increases while we recognize that we can't rely on public resources forever. Taken together, this means that our resources will continue to be constrained. That's just a reality. But that doesn't mean that we can't achieve what's difficult. We must. We've made that promise, and we must fulfill it. It means that we have to focus the resources that we know we have toward that end, on investing in our leadership in a new world. It means that we have to make the hard choices that will move us forward as a focused and as a decisive institution, rather than as a place that's desperate to try to be all things to all people. Notice I said try, because it just never works. All of this requires a lot of change in many ways, including culturally. And you know what? Culture just changes slowly everywhere. And sometimes it's just uncomfortable. But you remember, we do what's difficult. And we're responsible and accountable for working together to move forward. And we know we need to do it. It's time to do it. And we will do it under a new strategic plan. We're in the closing phases now, as so many of you know, of a plan that's really served us well. We're a stronger university than we were when Quest for Distinction began, and that's really thanks to every one of you. Many of you have already attended our planning sessions that Marcia and Gail have held, aimed at building the next strategic plan, which, remember, begins in fall of 2018, and I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that you will continue to lend your perspectives, your expertise, and so many of the things that you do in the months ahead to helping to make this plan a success. We cannot lead in shaping the future if we resist in any way reshaping ourselves. So, we also have to look closely at how we reward the work that we do. We must ensure that promotion and advancement guidelines, student grading policies, annual reviews, all of the things that we do, they've got to encourage us to remember our public mission and our commitment to people, the people of the Commonwealth of Virginia. And the way that we teach our students has to remind them that education is about empowerment. It's about theirs, and it's about the community's empowerment. That's why, at this same occasion just last year, you might remember that I announced that VCU is going to add an experiential learning commitment, a learning experience to our curriculum beginning this fall. More than ever, our students want to know that what they're learning is going to help them succeed as scholars in the classroom, but that it's going to help them be problem solvers in a world full of people who they know need them. Our students, and all of you who inspire them, need support in every way imaginable to make real our fascination with what's difficult. Finally, we're fascinated by what's difficult because we can't wait for everyone else to do it. You know, the National Research Council showed recently that while examining the role of higher education in America, there were a lot of things about research universities that needed to be discussed. So let me quote directly from their report. As America pursues economic and other national goals, its research universities have emerged as a major national asset, perhaps even its most potent one. Talented graduates of these institutions have created and populated many new businesses that go on to employ millions of Americans in tens of thousands of advances originated on campuses that have transformed the world. You know what? America has always been driven by innovation. That's our people. We've been driven by creating what's new, what's faster, what's stronger, what's safer, and what's better. At the center of the American spirit have been research universities just like ours. No one can match our talent. American research universities have won 60% of all Nobel Prizes. And you know what? 40 of the world's 50 top universities are American. No other sector of society has a capacity for both innovation and for educating innovative people. No one can match our diversity. Enrollment of underrepresented minority students has jumped 12% in the last decade, a reflection of our population, our beautiful population. And more international students come to U.S. research universities than anywhere else. You see this diversity every single day at VCU, more than at any other university in Virginia. And I'm proud of that. I'm really proud of that. Our commitment to diversity and to inclusion, to helping every person who comes to VCU feel respected and emboldened to succeed, is absolutely unbreakable. Thank you. We will always be the place of the highest integrity, the highest accountability commitment, and a relentless focus on advancing the human experience for all human beings. That's why we recently reaffirmed our support of students who are protected under the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals Act. Why we have continued to bolster our efforts related to Title IX and ensuring gender equity and equity in general. And it's why I continue to remind everyone that VCU will always embrace all people. Yes, it's our prerogative to say that, and it's our prerogative to ensure that that happens, and we must do it together. We have to embrace all people regardless of how they look, regardless of who they love, or whether or not they choose to pray or how they pray. We want people to be who they are. People need to be able to be who they are, because who we support as a university says the most about who we are as a university. And no one can match our mission. No one. While industries close their corporate labs, universities preserve the presence and the persistence to find answers wherever they might be hiding. Our basic operating manual is really 4 powerful words. I have an idea. The kind of idea that exists nowhere else, because no place else matches our commitment to innovate, even if it's difficult to imagine, to educate even when it's hard to embrace, to heal even if it's really hard to hope, to empower even if it's difficult to endure. That's why the fascination of what's difficult will fall to us always. While we always lead in focusing on what's difficult, I want to assure you that we're never going to do it alone. The NRC report that I just mentioned, well, it went on to say the United States can best leverage research universities for the breakthroughs, and I'm quoting directly, it needs by ensuring that they are properly resourced, increasingly productive, agile and innovative, and working creatively in partnership with business. Oh, so true. The support that we get from our partners in the government, from our corporate and civic partners, from philanthropists who give so generously to this institution and will give even more in this campaign, from students and their families, and from each other. All of that is so foundational to everything that we do in our work. The Richmond Police Department joins our VCU Trauma Center and the MCV Foundation to reduce youth violence, a project that the Robbins Foundation also is excited about and recently awarded us $250,000 to help advance. This project is also supported by donations from us, our own faculty and our staff. Through the Richmond Teacher Residency Program, the city's school system and our School of Education bring the very best teachers into our local classrooms. You know what? Terry, this is a national model for recruitment and retention in urban districts, and thank you for the great work that you're doing with our colleagues in the School of Education. For more than 20 years, the Carver-VCU partnership has made life so much better for our neighbors. They tell me all the time. And you know what else it's done? Our students also tell me all the time. We've made learning more effective for our students. Kathy, thank you. We lead in critical areas for our communities, but we don't really do any of these things alone, and we will continue to build bridges across Richmond and beyond, and we will do it wherever we can to help ensure that what we do is always going to be as essential as it is effective, because our fascination with what's difficult has to be joined with a commitment to what's vital and most pressing. VCU has absolutely had a remarkable year, which is to say that you, the people of VCU, have achieved remarkable things. You continue to inspire by achieving what seems so impossible to so many. With your commitment to focus, you continue to build a stronger university that is absolutely distinctive, that is relevant, and that is fascinated by what's difficult, because we know that that's what people need us for. And in the process, you are building a better world, because it's a world full of people. I'm really here more than anything today to say to you, thank you so very, very much. I am so proud, so honored, and so privileged to be your colleague at VCU. Thank you for the ways in which you touch so many thousands of people's lives. Thank you for being VCU. Thank you for making VCU what it is today.
Oh, thank you very much to everyone here for coming. Thank you very much to our online audience. And that is the end of today's program. So have a great day, everyone. Thank you.